this video, we'll develop an intuitive method to calculate any cross rate by using the following 4 data points. The 2 bid and offer rates of each currency pair as it trades with the US dollar. In addition, you need to clearly define the base and counter currencies of the cross rate you are aiming to derive. For instance, if you wish to calculate the Aussie dollar Japanese yen cross rate, you will need the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and US dollar Japanese yen rates. The order in which you use these currency pairs are important. The desired base must be the base in the first currency pair, and the desired counter currency must be the counter currency in the second currency pair. Let's reference the current bid and offer Aussie dollar Japanese yen rates available in the market at the time of recording, jump into Excel and calculate the cross rate double for Aussie dollar yen. In this example, we start with a cross rate that we wish to calculate, the Australian dollar Japanese yen rate. In order to do so, we need the base rate to the dollar and we need the dollar to the Japanese yen, or in other words, the counter rate. Here we have each of those, the Australian dollar to the US dollar, bid and offer points, and the US dollar to the yen, bid and offer rates as well. Our first step now is to isolate the desired base currency as the first currency pair we'll be working with. And the base currency we'll be working with is the Australian dollar. The rate we provided with is the Australian dollar USD rate. So the Australian dollar rate is in the base position, which is where we want it to be. So no adjustment or conversion is necessary from here. Next, we will write down the respective cash flows of trading at these rates. So in other words, those are counter currency rates quoted, amounts of USD in other words, for 1 unit of Australian dollars. In other words, buying 1 Australian dollar, buying one of the base, and selling USD 0.6679. From the trader's perspective, the offer is selling 1 unit of the base, where the base is the Australian dollar, and receiving or buying 0.6680 USD. Those are the cash flows. Next up, we investigate the second currency pair. In this instance, we want the counter currency in our desired cross rate to be the Japanese yen. This is the USD Japanese yen rates that we provided with. The yen is in the counter currency position already, so once again, no conversion is necessary. In this instance, the USD currency is the base currency, so purchase of 1 unit in exchange for 161.80 yen, and on the offer selling 1 unit of the base in return for 161.81 Japanese yen. Now that we have the 2 currency rates, we'll write them down in the order that we wish to utilize in our formula, and it will be on the bid side buying the base Australian dollar and selling the USD. When we sell the USD, we need to buy the USD on the opposite side and sell the Japanese yen. Again, starting with the first currency pair, the Aussie dollar and the base, selling 1 unit in return for 0.6680 USD, the counter currency. And again, the second pair offer, which is the amount of USD dollars in the base in exchange for the counter currency yen. To proceed from this point, we need to adjust the values of the USD in order to exactly achieve set-off between the amount of USD dollars either sold then bought or bought and then sold. How do we do this? In order to set off the 0.6679 USD dollars, we'll multiply that value out to both the buy USD and selling of Japanese yen values. In other words, 1 times 0.6679, the value of USD, and 161.80 times, again, 0.6679. And vice versa. On the offer, it's the offer rate that we have there. We do this so that these rates, selling USD 6679 and buying USD, set off exactly. But at the same time, the subsequent counter currency rate has also been adjusted with the exact same amount. The next step in our calculation is to reflect this perfect set-off between the US dollars, either buy and sell or sell and buy. We can achieve that by hiding these three cells. And then the rate we've calculated earlier in the counter currency is the cross rate. Therefore, buying 1 Aussie dollar, selling 108.066 Japanese yen, and on the offer, selling 1 Aussie dollar, one of the base, in return for 108.089 Japanese yen. This is what the calculation would look like if we don't have to do any adjustments. In the next video, we'll investigate what happens when we need to adjust or convert the currency pairs as we receive them in order to have them in the suggested format and be able to apply this formula for calculating the cross rate.